All right, welcome back to Friday Football Fever. I'm now joined in studio with the one and only Herald-Tribune sports writer, Doug Fernandes.
One and only is right.
Doug was out and about. What a game that you had to cover. Venice, Manatee, and this is basically for all the marbles here for the 5A District 10 championship. You're at that game, obviously sold-out crowd. Kind of walk us through how this thing unfolded in your mind.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, Charlotte played Venice, which was the biggest game of the year up to that point. But the game really didn't mean anything because both teams were in different classifications. This game, as you said, was for all the marbles, the winner keeping home field advantage throughout the playoffs, the loser having to go onto the road. And you can't say his name too many times, Trey Burton. He passed for 267 yards, rushed for 160 yards. You mentioned he has 40 touchdowns on the year. As I said to you before we went on, you put him on Manatee and keep everything equal. It's Manatee which is winning this district year after year. But Burton is on Venice. One thing I noticed about Trey Burton, you showed that hurdling highlight,
yes,
shows his athleticism,
yeah,
but more than one occasion, this guy just lowered his shoulders. And when you're 6'3", you really got to lower your shoulder to really push a defender back. He was consistently pushing back Manatee's defenders tonight, and he's as big as a lot of Manatee linemen. And you could tell as the game was going on, they were just getting sick and tired of trying to tackle this guy, and the stats prove themselves out. This guy is going on to Florida next year, and he may get some playing time as a freshman. He is that impressive.
Well, it's definitely an unbelievable game just to see him week in and week out. And, as I said early on in the show, we're starting to separate the contenders from the pretenders. And here's a guy like Burton, and not to just give all the credit to Burton in the area. You got guys like Mike Bellamy down in Charlotte. You got Breon Carnes there with Manatee. But Burton, it seems to be, if there was a Heisman in our area for a high school kid, Burton would be the leading candidate for it. But you look at a guy in this game right here, you talk about a guy just starting to elevate at the perfect time, when a team needs him heading into the playoffs here.
Yeah, a guy like Breon Carnes had a very respectable game, 15 of 25 for 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, but also 2 interceptions, which really came back to bite Manatee. But the thing about Trey Burton is his teammates, a la Tim Tebow, a la Tom Brady, a la the great quarterbacks, they just rally around this guy because they know this guy can almost single-handedly put the team on his back and carry them to victory. And like I said, I talked to some people down in Venice, and they're absolutely sure that, as Tebow did when he was a freshman, Urban Meyer designed certain plays for him to run as a freshman. They think he's going to go up to Gainesville, and Urban Meyer will design plays for Trey Burton just like Tebow because he's about the same size, about 6'3", 230 pounds. He's only 18 years old. He's going to get bigger the next couple of years. So he should be a force on the college level, I would think.
It would be an unbelievable sight to see. And Burton came into tonight with 22 rushing touchdowns, got 3 tonight, so that takes his total to 25. Mike Bellamy and the Charlotte Tarpons had the week off with a bye. He's at 18, second in the area, leading in rushing. We talk about some of the greats. You've been around here, this neck of the woods, for quite some time. Where do you place a guy like Trey Burton? I mean, there have been a number of names that come out of this area. You got the Peter Warwicks, the Adrian McPhersons, you got the Justin Midgets, and you can even take it back and even further.
You want to go back to Rosie Snipes, who had a tryout with the 49ers, Sean Bain, maybe the greatest running back to come out of this area. I think what separates Burton above the most is that he's got finesse and he's got power. He can run. If the passing lanes are there, he's going to throw. If they're taken away, he will run. And he's just so committed. I mean, it looks like he wears his heart on his sleeve, to borrow a bad cliche, but it looks like he truly knows that he's the focal point of this team, and he has to deliver on a weekly basis. And he takes that challenge on, and he runs with it every single week. That's what maybe separates him from some of the other great players that have come through the area.
Well, the one interesting thing that I heard in John Peacock's soundbite after the game, he mentioned, obviously the team had a lot of mistakes. And I understand that the coaching mentality of you want to kind of clear up everything. But the interesting thing that he said is that he feels that he will see Manatee again in about 4 weeks in the playoffs. We've seen in times past in the history that teams who played, if you've lost to a team one year, you wind up getting beat by them the second year. A la Venice last year with Charlotte. Beat them in the regular season.
Right.
Charlotte came in and knocked them out of the postseason. What's the likelihood of, what do you make of that situation?
Well, I don't know, because this makes 4 years in a row that Venice has defeated Manatee for the district title. Now, you're absolutely correct. If they both win their first round playoff games, then they're going to meet in the second round down in Venice. But if you're the Manatee defense, you've seen Trey Burton now for 4 straight years. You've lost all 4 straight years. He's really lit you up. After a while, doubt has to creep in that can we stop this guy, particularly when our linemen are smaller than their linemen and even smaller than Trey Burton himself. At the high school level, you played sports, you get a little adversity, that confidence can go down the drain. I'm wondering what the Manatee defenders, what's going through their mind right now. Can we stop this guy if we get another chance at him? That's the question really for that team.
Another interesting game that took place too, for the first meeting with Southeast Lemon Bay down in Inglewood, you're talking about just an odd situation. You got Southeast, they shut them out down there 45-0. Athletes, and I hate to say it, versus not too many athletes with Lemon Bay. And you talked about it time and time again, athletes always prevail over the not so many athletes.
I don't know what it's become in this area. I don't want to get on the Sarasota schools, but whether you go to Booker, Riverview, Sarasota, Kahnemoone, all the great athletes seem to be going to 3 or 4 schools, and the Sarasota schools are sort of being left out to dry a little bit.
All right, Doug and I can go on and on and on talking about the high school football, but we will be back again next week. Our time is now up. Producer's saying it's time to go, and we will go. Thank you for watching. We'll have more news and weather coming up after the break.